Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. And we are back here to talk to you guys about a stock that just can't catch a break lately. They're becoming what could be the AT&T stock of discussion here in 2023 because week after week, lower price after lower price, the stock is always in the news.
See, I thought Paramount was going to be that stock, but is this one going to kick the ladder out from underneath them while they're trying to reach up there and grab the belt? We'll find out. But before we do, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Help your boys get to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 subscribers. Let's freaking go. Who's the next AT&T, Lanny?
Guys, this stock is down by good and God gracious 28%, and they haven't even been trading for a full year. Bert, we're going to rip the Band-Aid right now. We're going to just talk about this dividend stock. Yes, they pay a dividend. No, they haven't cut it yet. No, I don't think they have any future plans to, because that would just be the nail in the coffin on this stock. Guys, we're talking about the J&J split off stock, Kenvue stock here on today's
Mm-hmm.
video. They are just at a point where we can't ignore what's happening with Kenvue
Yeah,
stock. Because Bert,
it is.
some new news came out on Kenvue. What just happened?
Well, the thing that happened is ironic here because it was supposed to be the thing that was left behind with Johnson and Johnson. Johnson and Johnson's beaten down with lawsuits and held down with lawsuits. You spin out Kenvue and you're like, hey, we don't have this on us. We're good. Then womp womp womp. Here they come. The papers have been served. There's a lawsuit filed against Kenvue related to the shares that are acquired with the IPO back in the second quarter. Womp.
Yeah, guys. You guys might remember, Kenvue opened up. They had some nice pop, was really trading the 22, $23 range. Good old Kenvue back in May. So you could have actually grabbed shares before the split off actually happened later on in August. Now, what they're saying in this lawsuit filed against Kenvue was that they didn't fully disclose or they were possibly misleading part of the litigation surrounding the oral PE products related to the efficacy of the product of itself that I guess has been ongoing for 15 years. And Bert, the FDA panel unanimously voted to declare that the formulations of the PE is ineffective of relieving nasal congestion and published its findings. So because of that, shareholders and this law firm essentially filed a lawsuit against Kenvue for lack of information during the registration statement for those that grab shares during the IPO.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
sucks. Like there's nothing more to it. It sucks, but it's part of the nature of the beast, sadly. They're in a sector that has a lot of litigation. There's a lot of ongoing trials. These are high stakes health products, where when stuff goes wrong, people are rightfully upset, and the reaction is to sue. And they might not be wrong if Kenvue was misleading. It's up to the courts to decide ultimately, but it just sucks because you thought they were getting out from underneath the lawsuits. You thought that this was behind them, and right out of the gate, less than 6 months after since they've been public, it's here you go again for Kenvue investors.
exactly. And guys, I think the last time we were talking about them on our channel, they were trading in the mid to low $20, like 2032 kind of rings a bell,
Mm-hmm.
2064, somewhere in there. So you may say, oh, well, they've only fallen a dollar. We're recording this video on October 12th, a dollar to 1932. Well, guys, a dollar is over, pretty much
Yeah,
5%, let's call it. They've dropped 5% in about 2 weeks since the last time we really talked about Kenvue stock. And Bert, in the last 30 days,
yeah,
Kenvue stock is actually down 11%.
yeah. That's wild, and it's even more if you stretch out to that like post split off price where it was up to nearly $24 per share at one point, and here you are just losing so much of the value that investors thought was created after August or after the run up, and then hopefully you sold at that point because it's coming down. It's just been a really tough road for Kenvue. Like it's It's been terrible for investors that were hoping to have the long-term growth. The past oversubscription, the discount, the 7% discount is really a moot point at this point because here you are with this stock that's dropped down so much, at least what you said, 11% over the last month.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And really, the reason why we related to AT&T stock is because it was like, DirecTV kind of package that up and get rid of it. The Warner Media Discovery. And it was, well, now we actually got the lead cable stuff going on between them and Verizon. It's just, you know, to be honest, it's like, yeah, it's Kenvue, the next one that like, you know, week after week, the stock price just continues to get punished. If you actually look at the chart, it's almost like on a perfect line, just south.
It's bad. Like we're laughing, but it's not good. So let's take a step back here. Now that we know what's happened, let's do what we do with every investment, Lanny. Let's run them through our stock screener because the numbers don't lie. Ball don't lie here. Uh,
Oh, don't lie.
our
Detroit basketball. No, come on, Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right. Let's start here. We'll go through the price earnings ratio, payout ratio, history of increasing dividends, and dividend yield, just to summarize the four metrics that we're going to look at here quickly.
yeah, so Kenvue, it's trading at 1932. Analysts are expecting $1.28. Bert and I just double tested this with Yahoo and Seeking Alpha. They both say $1.28, both with multiple analysts doing the estimate here. Part of me wants to know if they're just using the only earnings release of 32 cents adjusted EPS and annualizing that out to $1.28, because that was the annual adjusted EPS for the quarter last time. Now their true EPS they earned was 23 cents. So we'll kind of consider both, but we'll use the $1.28. That price to earnings ratio is 15 times right now.
I can't believe you made a Detroit basketball reference, lady.
I know.
I'm
I gotta catch confession.
of all people. All right, let's look at that payout ratio. They announced their first dividend at 20 cents per quarter, so that's an 80-cent annualized dividend. Payout ratio is 62.5%. So payout ratio is still holding tight, about what you'd expect.
Yeah, what we were saying about the 23 cents on true EPS last quarter, again, annualizing that out is 92 cents. So, paying 80 cents over 92 in a very worst case scenario is still below 100%. Obviously, just below 90%, not great. But at least wanted to point it out there that it's probably on that spectrum of 60 to 85% is the true payout ratio. But we'll have to see with more earnings results as they come in.
That's right. So let's skip over dividend growth for now because they're a new company. That was this year. They were split off from Johnson and Johnson, who's a dividend king. We all know that history, but it's too early to tell if
You know
that.
what's funny? You know what's funny is like people go, "Oh, AbbVie, they're like a dividend aristocrat. Oh, Altria is a dividend, king." But it's like, wait, we're giving no kudos to Kenvue here for J&J's dividend history.
Yeah, nope, none whatsoever here. And
How
everyone just
funny is
hates
that?
on Benview. Yeah. It a double standard? Absolutely it is. But we don't care. We don't care right now.
That's
Uh,
too.
well, no, but also too, Abby and everyone else said that they're going to make sure they continue the dividend growth too. And we just haven't quite seen that here. I'm justifying it. It doesn't matter. We're being hypocrites here. Let's go to the dividend yield. Doesn't matter.
What is the yield, Bert?
4.14%. It's over 4%. It is an amazing dividend yield, everybody.
Guys, it is over 4%. You can't knock it. It's numbers don't lie, as Bert said. 4.14%. They crossed the 4% threshold recently, and they've been hanging around here. And it in summary, guys, 15 PE, 62% payout, 4% yield right now. No true growth going forward yet from Kenvue. You might not see that till 2024. What do you think about Kenvue stock right now, Bert?
I don't even.
Considering you own Halion.
Yeah, I do own Halion, but I don't own Kenview, and I'm not really planning on buying Kenview right now. I'm in wait and see mode here. There's a lot of negative headwinds. At least the one positive note is the payout ratio is still hanging tight here. Let's see. I think it's going to be a really big quarter. Once the quarterly earnings release come out, the 10Q, there's going to be a lot to look and unpack for investors. What are you thinking, Lanny?
You know, I just don't want to add a brand new position. I know in the last video I talked about four stocks that I would love to exit. One had Halion included in there simply because it's a smaller position. So I'm gonna keep watching Kenview, everybody. Bert, I'm gonna keep watching, yes. Only because at some point, it's again, you kind of bought J&J because of the brands you love. It comes back to that. I think we talked about that a couple videos ago. And now that the brands that you love are literally you don't know, name me a single thing that J&J produces.
I don't think this video is about Johnson and Johnson.
So what I'm saying is like, so there's still a little bit
Kidding.
of like, okay, it's a little engine that keep going, and that was
You're right.
these.
There are strong cash flows. These are strong cash flowing brands. It's not as if they just spun out a bunch of crap, for lack of a better term. These are great cash flow generating $4 billion of revenue. Say like this isn't some schmuck company.
So again, I think it's going to be up there on the watch list, but it might take another 5 to 10% for me to go, okay, I think it's just too low now for me not to consider adding them to the portfolio and figuring out a way of possibly selling again. Watch that last video of some other positions to get into Kenview stock. And could it drop? Well, based on recent evidence, it sure can.
Yes. All right. Well, everyone, let us know what you think about Kenview. Let us know down there. Do you own there? Are you watching? What's your entry point if you're looking to buy? And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And Lanny, what do we need to tell all these Kenview enthusiasts out there?
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Uh, obviously, keep saving, keep investing, reach financial freedom. And if you're not with us, brother, you're against us, Jack. That was Bert and Lanny from the DD. Over and out. Go Browns.